soldiers beside me, standing in all black with them shields on post, marching. They all my brothers.
Gold is precious, but loyalty is priceless. Harm when a man might leave you light.
In this society, from what I've seen in the 30 years of my life, is that our sisters' main concern is their physical image. Would you agree? A lot of our sisters spend money to get their body done. They put on fake eyelashes. They put in fake hair. Right? So that's kind of their desire, right? Their desire is to look beautiful on the outside. Now, I gotta ask you because I don't know you, so I gotta ask. I don't want to presume. I don't want to assume. Do you desire to be a woman of beauty or of high status, like a favor, like being famous one day? Like, what type of woman do you want to be when it's all said and done? If you could describe it in whatever word you want to use, what type of woman do you want to be at the end of the day?
I got to apply the word of God and be closer within the word of Him. And then naturally I might have personality and characteristics and everything that's more of godly. And a woman trained that I'm supposed to be. So then I'll unlock my goddessness. I don't know what time, but I'm trying to be a goddess.
Okay, so, and I want you to answer. I want you to ask this. I want you to answer this earnestly. If you were approached with the opportunity to be made a famous, let's just say you sing. Let's just say you sing, right? And someone approached you and said, "Listen, I'll give you a $50 million contract, right, for you to be my artist for the next 30 years. But this whole thing that you're trying to do, follow God, it's not going to cut it. Because the type of artist that I want you to be, I want you to continue to promote the importance of outside beauty to so-called black and Hispanic women." Would you take that deal? $50 million, right? You're going to be a beautiful, famous woman, all over TV, all in the magazines. The only thing is, you won't be able to follow God the way you want to because the message and the image that you have to portray does not align with God.
Well, He did give us the opportunity to have free will.
Say it again?
He did give us the opportunity to have free will.
Ah, so now we get somewhere, right? Because when I asked you the type of woman you wanted to be, right, your response changed drastically when I introduced the things that Satan could come to you with, right? So now that's the whole thing that we have to deal with in this world. It's a battle, right? It's a battle. So that was just a hypothetical question. So now imagine if it really came into your life, what you would do then. You probably would say, to hell with God, I'm going to go over here with this. Now, this is the reason why I asked you this question. Give me Proverbs 31 and verse 30, I believe. Proverbs 31 and verse 30. All right, the book of Proverbs, chapter 31 and verse 30. Yes, read. Favor is deceitful. So Proverbs 31, that you probably heard, a Proverbs 31 woman, describes what a woman of the Lord is. The attributes, the mindset, the way that she is and carry herself, her mannerisms, her speech, right? The way she conducts herself, the way she looks after her household, the way she treats her husband and her children. So read that again. Favor is deceitful. It says favor is deceitful because a lot of times when people meet their role models or their idols, they're not the person that they portray to be on TV. Right. Of course, everybody loves Nicki Minaj. Everybody loves Meg Thee Stallion because of the way they're portrayed on TV. But maybe if you met this person in real life and really got to know them, they're probably an asshole, right? They're probably somebody who you wouldn't want to spend another second with. So it says favor can be deceitful because all that is an image that's being portrayed and you don't really know this person, right? Read. And beauty is vain. It says, and beauty is vain. Because there's a lot of women who are beautiful on the outside, but not beautiful on the inside.
That's right.
And the thing about that is the Most High doesn't look on the outer appearance, right? He looks into the heart of men and women. Now read. But a woman that fears the Lord, it said, but a woman that fears the Lord, read, she shall be praised. So that is what the Most High regards as being the best woman possible, right? Is a woman of the Lord. Because God made every beautiful woman on this earth. Right. So their beauty means nothing to him. Right. Right? The God isn't looking down like, oh man, she bad. We might be like, damn, she beautiful. I'll risk it all for her. God don't care. God doesn't care that you're famous because everybody knows him. You'll never be more famous than him. Right. But when you do his will, that's what he cares about. Right. Because at the end of the day, when you're 60 and these women who look beautiful now and who favorable now, their 60-year-old body cannot compete with the new 20-year-old that's coming on the scene. Now they're pushed to the back. Now when you get older, what do you start to think about? You start to think about life more. You start to think about that day when you're going to pass away. You start to think about meeting God. And now, for the past 60 years of your life, you never gave it one thought. And now your mind is racing because you don't know what's on the next side of that life. But the Most High God is telling you right now, if you're a woman of me, if you do my will, then guess what? You have nothing to worry about. You're going to be praised. Give me Peter, I believe it's 1 Peter chapter 3. Start at verse 1. Right? So I'm going to give you just an example of what it means to be a woman of the Lord. Because like you said, beauty is vain. Favor is deceitful. Now, we might not understand it because we were like, well, dang, this girl, just because of her beauty, she's getting $10,000 every Instagram post. But the Bible said that beauty is vain. It's nothing. Well, $10,000 a post ain't nothing, right? That's something in our eyes. But in the eyes of the Lord, it's nothing. Right? And favor is deceitful. But then we say, well, damn, the more famous people, they seem like they get all the endorsements, they get all the things for free, right? They look like they live in a nice life, a life that I would have to have. But what does the Most High say? That's deceitful. Because guess what? At the end, when they have to go through judgment, how is it going to look for them? How is it going to look for them then? Right? But we know that the righteous have nothing to worry about. Why? Because the Most High loves righteousness. Read that. Yes. The book of 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 1. Read. Likewise ye wives. It says likewise ye wives. Now, I have to ask a question, not to get too much into your personal business. So if I'm asking anything that you feel uncomfortable answering, just say, I don't want to answer that. Do you have a significant other? Have you had a significant other? It's been a long time. Do you have any children? No children. Okay. Now, who gave you wisdom or counsel on how to conduct yourself in a relationship? Was it your mother? Was it your father? Was it social media? Was it your friends? Who gave you knowledge on how to conduct yourself as a woman in a relationship? So she told you what the man was supposed to do, but who told you what you were supposed to do as a wife, right? Because the Bible doesn't talk about boyfriend and girlfriend; it talks about husband and wife. So I'm only, huh?
No, I never got counsel.
You never got no counsel. Okay.
I didn't know it came with instructions.
No problem. A lot of us didn't know. I didn't know the instruction that it came with being a husband. I thought it was perfectly fine to sleep with as many women as I wanted to, because that's what's glorified in our neighborhoods. I remember being in middle school and coming home, right? And you know, the boys on the block, they'll joke on us, oh, you ain't getting none, you ain't getting none. And I used to make it my mission when I went to school, right, to try to spit my game so I could go back home and tell them boys I finally did it, right? I'm 12, 13 years old. But that's just how I was conditioned. Until I was shown in the scripture this one thing. Before I go on to you, hold that Exodus 22 and 16. Because I want you to see how the information that's in these scriptures will change your outlook on life. This was literally the scripture that my homeboy showed me I never knew was there. And I never knew that this was a way that we had to go about life. Read. The book of Exodus chapter 22 and verse 16. Read. And if a man entice a maid, so it says if a man goes and he spit game to a girl, right, try to get her number, try to get to know her, read, that is not betrothed. She doesn't have a boyfriend, she's a single woman, read, and lie with her, and we have sex, read, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. I have to take that woman to be my wife. I never knew that. I remember the way I was looking like this when my homeboy was showing me. Because I never knew that. And it was crazy because that same night, you know what I went and did? I went and I had sex with somebody. And after, I felt bad. But I was questioning myself because I did this 100 times before and I never felt anything. But something in me was awoken through the knowledge that let me know the act that I just committed was bad. No different than you eating the shrimp. You done ate shrimp 100 times. But now that you know that eating shrimp is against God's laws, the next time you, because you might eat it again, right? The next time you bite it, you're going to feel something and you're going to be like, damn, I got to stop doing this. Yeah. Right? So that little piece of information is what reignites our spirit, right? Gets that flame going again. And now we realize what it is that we're doing right and what it is that we're doing wrong. So this piece of that one scripture is what led me to the man that you see me standing today. I'm way better than the man I was when I first heard the scripture, but this was the scripture that got me on track. Just that one. Read. I mean, go back to, so I pray that when we read this here in Peter's, that it does the same thing for you. Because that was what I had to do as a man. So now, guess what? I met a wife at my congregation, went to her father, asked her father permission to court her, courted her for 1.5 years. We got married, and now I have a child with her. Now I got a complete family, and everything is smooth. Why? Because I followed the wisdom that was in that scripture. Because what would have happened if I would have got that girl pregnant and left her? Child support. Now my life is a living hell. Now I probably don't get to see my son. I get to see my son every day. I probably get to see my son probably once every week or every other week. But I don't have to live that life. Why? Because the scriptures told me how to do it right. And I followed it, and it proved to be true. Now let's read the book of 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 1. Read. Likewise ye wives. So whenever you're about to enter into a relationship, it's not to be a girlfriend, it's to be a wife. That's right. Which would mean you would have to take time to understand the man who is going to be your husband. What type of man is he? Because the same thing that we read in Proverbs 31 and 30 can apply to a man. I don't care if he's famous. I don't care if he's rich. I don't care if he had the best looking haircut you ever seen. Is he a man of the Lord? Now, the only way you would be able to discern that is if you know what a man of the Lord is supposed to be.
That's right.
Without that knowledge, you can't make that judgment call. Which is why we hand out those flyers, and we have a school in which women and men can come to understand who they are and be able to perceive whoever anybody else is, right? To make a good decision, especially when it comes to choosing a husband or a wife. Read. That they, that if they obey not the word, read it again. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husband. Now, that's a big thing for our women. Our women hear the word subjection or submission and believe I have to be with somebody who is going to tell me what I can and cannot do. Now, is it wrong to have somebody looking out for your best interests? No. And I have to speak for myself, but majority of the men that I know who have taken back their nationality, who have come to serve the Most High God, right? The things that we don't accept about our women, first and foremost, right, is being immodest, meaning dressing half naked, walking out the house, talking crazy, carrying themselves as if they have no class. Those are things now, we got to put that away. When I was in the world, before I knew these scriptures, my girl could wear a bikini to a club and I wouldn't care. You want to know why? Because I probably was doing dirt on the side anyway. So if I don't bother her about what she's doing, she probably won't bother me. You see how that works? So I'm allowing her wickedness to go on so that my wickedness can continue to go on. But when I started to fix myself, and then I started to check her on her stuff, guess what happened? She started to buck up against me. And all I was trying to do was truly show her that I loved her by telling her to stop doing the things that God does not take pleasure in. Now let's go back to Peter. Read it from the top again. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 1. Read. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives. So it's saying that, listen, even though the person that you may be with, he might not be fully bought into serving God. He may still be doing things. But if you're speaking to him, right, through the wisdom of the scriptures, he may have to, he gonna have to take a step back and look and say, damn, she really trying to get me right. She really trying to get me out these streets. She really trying to get me to turn my life around. Right? A real man can only appreciate a woman like that. So she's saying, listen, even though he might not always be on the right track, you're being in subjugation to him, you being in submissiveness to him, is being there by his side, trying to counsel him in the ways of the Lord. Right? Read. While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear. Right? So they're going to behold your chaste conversation, going to be like, damn, she telling me something real. You know what, babe? I can't even knock that, man. I appreciate you. Right? Because a lot of our people, we don't have each other's back the way that we should. Sometimes it's kind of like, well, I'm going to let him keep doing what he's doing so that if we get in an argument, I can bring this up on him. Right. Instead, why don't you try to help the man? Right. Instead of waiting for an opportunity to use his faults against him. Right? That's how we kind of treat each other. Read. Whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning. So now this is the point, right, that is going to solidify what we spoke about earlier about beauty and being famous as being vanity, right, and deception. Read. Whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair. So it doesn't matter if you have the what's the best hairstyle girls going for now? What's the number one thing they trying to get done? All right, so whatever the best hairstyle is, the Most High say it's not about that, Read. And of wearing of gold, it doesn't matter how many, earrings, nose rings, all them type of stuff that you got on, Read. Or of putting on of apparel, right? It doesn't matter if you got on the designer, right? If you got on the, what's that thing called, the Met Gala? Or at the Met Gala, they wearing all these different type of crazy exotic dresses. The Most High say it ain't about that, Read. But let it be the hidden man. But let it be what? The hidden man. Read. Of the heart. Of the what? Of the heart. Of the what? Of the heart. So the Most High said, listen, all that is garbage. Let the thing that you adorn yourself, let the thing that's beautiful about yourself be your heart. Right. Because at the end of the day, those are the type of women who are going to be able to stand before the Lord. Right? And the reason I say that is, hold that, give me Matthew chapter 2 and verse 6. Hold that, give me Matthew chapter 2. You said you believe in Jesus Christ, right? You believe in Jesus Christ. You believe in the Son of God, right? Now, the Son of God is not with us right here on the earth right now. He was 2,000 years ago, but he's not on the earth right now. Say it again. Satan, listen, Satan has been sinning from the beginning, right? Satan been going to and fro from the earth since the beginning. But the reason why I brought that up, right, is because when we read this, our women have to understand something very, 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 very important. Read that. Yes. The book of Matthew chapter 2 and verse 6. Listen good, Sister Dawn. And thou, Bethlehem, and the land of Judah, read, art not the least among the princes of Judah? For out of thee shall come a governor, read, that shall rule my people Israel. So the Most High says that Christ, his son, is going to rule his people Israel. So I want you to think about it in this aspect. There's going to come a time where the Son of God is going to be back on earth with us, and he is going to be the ruler. He is going to be the ruler of the whole world, right? But specifically, he is going to be ruling the children of Israel. So now let me ask you this question. Do you think that in a kingdom where the Son of God is ruling, that women are going to be able to walk around in the streets half naked? No, now, let me ask you that question again. I wanted to hit your ears. Maybe it didn't hit your ears right. You said what? No. That's something. That's. No. Now, see, the Christianity kind of came out a little bit, right? Let's push it back. Let's push it back because you've been doing good. Let's push it back, right? The point that I'm trying to make is if that Christ is going to be the ruler of us, how is it that women think that when Christ is here on earth with us ruling us, that it would be acceptable in his kingdom? Because the same way how the president of the United States can make a rule for his land, exactly. But this is what the kingdom of heaven is. So what is it that we're supposed to prepare our people for, right? We're supposed to prepare them for the wedding, right? We're supposed to prepare them for the kingdom of heaven. Right. So if in the kingdom of heaven you can't walk around parading your body, then what sense does it make now today to go and get a BBL? If that same body cannot be paraded around in the kingdom of heaven. Right. It doesn't make sense. So now back to the scriptures telling us that it's vanity.
Soldiers beside me, standing in all black with them shields on post, watching, they all my brothers.
Gold is precious, but loyalty is private. Harm on a mind might leave you like